Have you ever looked back at certain moments in your life and realized that things somehow worked out in ways you could never have planned? Situations where doors closed unexpectedly, only for better opportunities to appear later. Moments where a decision you almost didn't make ended up protecting you from something that could have gone terribly wrong. At the time, it may have felt confusing, even painful, but with distance, it begins to look almost as if something was guiding your path. Many women who feel spiritually protected describe this exact experience. They go through periods where life seems uncertain or even chaotic, yet somehow they are always redirected before reaching the worst outcomes. And this pattern begins to create a quiet question in their minds. Is it possible that something greater is watching over my life? From the psychological perspective explored by Carl Jung, experiences like these are closely connected to the relationship between the conscious mind and the deeper wisdom of the unconscious. Jung believed that the human psyche is not simply reacting randomly to life events. Instead, it is constantly working to guide the individual toward what he called individuation, the process of becoming the most authentic and complete version of oneself. During this process, many people begin noticing that certain events in their lives seem strangely timed. Opportunities appear right when they are needed. People enter or leave their lives at moments that later reveal a deeper meaning. What once looked like coincidence begins to feel more like alignment between inner growth and external events. In spiritual language, many interpret this as divine protection. It feels as if even when life becomes difficult, something prevents you from falling completely off your path. Challenges still happen, but they often lead to lessons, strength, or unexpected redirection rather than destruction. For women who carry this experience repeatedly throughout their lives, it can feel as though their journey is being quietly guided, not in dramatic or supernatural ways, but through subtle moments where life seems to intervene just enough to keep them moving forward. And interestingly, when someone carries this kind of guidance in their life, it is often accompanied by another sign: the feeling of being different from most people around them. One of the most common experiences reported by women who feel spiritually protected is the quiet but persistent feeling of being different from most people around them. This difference does not necessarily mean feeling superior or separated from others. Instead, it often feels like seeing the world through a deeper lens. You may notice patterns in people's behavior more quickly, sense the emotional atmosphere of a room almost instantly, or feel drawn to questions about meaning and purpose long before others begin asking them. According to Carl Jung, this experience can be connected to a stronger relationship with the unconscious mind. Jung believed that some individuals develop a heightened sensitivity to the inner world of emotions, symbols, and intuition. This sensitivity allows them to perceive layers of reality that others may overlook. It is not about intelligence or knowledge, but about awareness of subtle psychological signals. Women who experience this often notice that their intuition becomes a powerful guide in their lives. They may sense when someone is not being honest, feel when a situation is about to shift, or instinctively know when a decision does not align with their deeper values. Many people dismiss these impressions at first, but over time, they realize that their intuition repeatedly proves accurate. Because of this heightened awareness, these women sometimes feel misunderstood. Conversations that revolve only around surface-level concerns may feel empty to them. They may crave deeper connections, meaningful dialogue, and relationships built on honesty rather than convenience. This difference can create moments of loneliness, especially when they struggle to find people who share the same depth of perception. But Jung suggested that this feeling of being different is not necessarily a burden. In many cases, it reflects the early stages of individuation, the psychological journey toward becoming more aligned with one's authentic self. During this process, individuals begin stepping away from collective expectations and start listening more closely to their inner voice. Interestingly, this deeper awareness often leads to another powerful sign. Because women who carry strong intuition and authenticity frequently face life challenges that seem intense at first, yet those very challenges end up strengthening them rather than destroying them. Another powerful sign often appears in the pattern of challenges a woman faces throughout her life. Instead of living a smooth and predictable path, she often encounters intense situations that test her strength, patience, and emotional resilience. At times, it may even feel unfair, as if life is demanding more from her than from others around her. Yet something unusual happens in the long run. The very difficulties that seemed meant to break her slowly become the experiences that shape her strength. From the perspective of Carl Jung, these moments can play an essential role in psychological development. Jung believed that real transformation rarely occurs in comfort. Instead, it happens when individuals confront challenges that force them to explore deeper parts of their psyche. Through these experiences, a person becomes more aware of their fears, their hidden strengths, and the inner resources they did not know they possessed. Women who feel spiritually protected often notice this pattern repeating throughout their lives. They may go through betrayal, disappointment,
or periods of uncertainty that seem overwhelming at first. Yet each time they emerge from these experiences with greater clarity, stronger boundaries, and a deeper understanding of themselves. Instead of destroying their spirit, the trials refine it. Many spiritual traditions describe this process as preparation. Just as metal becomes stronger when exposed to fire, character becomes stronger when it faces adversity. From this perspective, the difficulties are not punishments, but moments that shape the person into someone capable of carrying greater responsibility, wisdom, and influence. Jung would describe this stage as part of the individuation journey, the path where a person integrates both their light and their shadow, learning to navigate life with greater awareness. Through these trials, the individual gradually becomes more grounded in who they truly are, rather than who the world expects them to be. And interestingly, as this strength grows, another sign often appears. Because when a woman becomes deeply aligned with her inner self, her presence begins to affect the people around her in ways she may not immediately understand. As a woman grows through challenges and becomes more aligned with her inner values, something interesting often begins to happen in her social world. Her presence starts to trigger strong reactions in people. Some individuals feel deeply inspired by her calm confidence and authenticity, but others may respond with criticism, distance, or even hostility without a clear reason. This contrast can feel confusing, especially when she has done nothing intentionally to provoke such reactions. According to Carl Jung, this phenomenon is closely connected to what he called the shadow. The shadow represents the parts of ourselves that we tend to hide, deny, or avoid confronting. These can include fears, insecurities, suppressed emotions, or traits that society taught us to reject.
When people encounter someone who carries strong authenticity and self-awareness, their own shadow may become activated. In these moments, the reaction is rarely about the woman herself. Instead, her presence becomes a mirror, reflecting something unresolved within the other person. Someone who struggles with confidence may feel threatened by her self-respect. Someone who hides their true feelings may feel uncomfortable around her honesty. Rather than recognizing these inner tensions, many people unconsciously project them outward. Jung described this psychological mechanism as projection. When individuals are not ready to face certain aspects of themselves, they often attribute those qualities to another person. The result is that the woman becomes the target of judgments, assumptions, or emotional reactions that do not truly belong to her. For women who carry strong intuition, empathy, and authenticity, this dynamic can appear frequently. Their presence disrupts unconscious patterns around them, sometimes inspiring growth in others, and sometimes provoking resistance. While this experience can feel isolating at times, Jung believed it often indicates that the individual is walking a path of deeper psychological awareness. And as this awareness grows, one final sign tends to emerge: a quiet but unmistakable sense that your life carries a purpose greater than what you once imagined. After experiencing guidance, feeling different, overcoming challenges, and learning how to navigate the reactions of others, many women begin noticing one final and deeply personal sign. It does not appear as a loud revelation or a dramatic moment. Instead, it grows quietly within them, a persistent sense that their life carries a meaning that goes beyond ordinary expectations. This feeling is often difficult to explain to others. From the outside, their life may appear normal. They work, build relationships, and face everyday struggles like everyone else. But internally, there is a growing awareness that their experiences, both good and difficult, are shaping them for something significant. It feels less like ambition and more like a calling that slowly becomes clearer with time. From the psychological perspective of Carl Jung, this stage reflects the deeper movement of individuation. Jung believed that every person carries a unique psychological path, a process through which they gradually become aligned with their authentic self. When someone moves closer to this alignment, their life often begins to feel more meaningful, even when the future remains uncertain. Women who feel protected or guided often describe this stage as a form of inner certainty. They may not know exactly where their path will lead, but they feel less afraid of walking it. Decisions begin to come from a place of clarity rather than fear. Instead of constantly seeking approval, they trust their intuition and values more deeply. In spiritual language, many interpret this feeling as part of a divine calling. The sense that God is shaping their journey through experiences that strengthen their character, deepen their wisdom, and prepare them to influence others in ways they may not yet fully understand. Jung himself often emphasized that the goal of life is not simply success or comfort, but the unfolding of the self, the discovery of who we truly are beneath social expectations and external pressures. For those who follow this path, life gradually becomes less about fitting into the world and more about living in harmony with their inner truth. In the end, the strongest sign of all may not be something others can easily see. It is the quiet realization that your life is not random, that your struggles have meaning, and that the path you are walking, even with its challenges, is shaping you into the person you were meant to become.